Hi, I'm Nate May from Synthase, an online school for music creators. We're going to talk about automation in music production, what it is, and how you can use it. And there are a lot of ways you can use it. It's a simple concept, so get ready. When I play an instrument like this keyboard, I can perform the music in real time and record the notes using MIDI. And because each note is just information about when the note was played, how long it lasts, and how hard I hit the key, I can just go back and edit that information later. But let's say I'm mixing something and I want the volume of a track to come up gradually over time. So I've got a knob here mapped to a gain on this utility plugin. So let's just give that a try. So the way that I brought that knob up is still a performance, and I'd like to be able to record it just like I recorded my keyboard, but there are no notes involved, so how do I do that? So here in Ableton I can do that. I'm just going to make sure none of my tracks are armed, and I'm going to go and arm the automation here. Then I'm going to show the automation, and now I'm going to hit record. So in the process, I made this red line here that moved every time my knob changed speed or direction. And this red line shows us our automation. But what is automation and what else can it do? Right now, this knob is just controlling the gain of an effect, but that gain is just a parameter. And a parameter could be lots of other things too. In a pan effect, the position in the left-right space is a parameter. In reverb, decay time is a parameter. So a parameter is anything with a value that changes an instrument or effect. In other words, anything that could theoretically be controlled with a knob. Now, how do we get this parameter to change as if we're turning a knob even when we're not? That's where automation comes in. In music production, automation is instructions for a computer to change a parameter in time. So automation is basically a way to record performances that are not notes, like volume changes, filter frequency changes, and a ton of other things. I'll show you how to automate in Ableton in 3 different ways. So to start with, you have to show the automation using this button or just the A key. Then you have to pick which parameter you're going to automate. So you can use these drop downs to pick the effect and the parameter, or it's even easier, you can just click on the parameter and it'll auto-populate. So in every software, you'll have some version of this line to show you the automation. Notice that it's got these little dots where the slope of the line changes. The idea is that the automation will connect these dots smoothly. So if I make a high dot and a low dot, then it'll be like a gradual turning of the knob in between. So that's one way to automate, is to just draw in the dots. And if I want to delete a dot, all I have to do is click on it. The second way is to use an on-screen knob to record the changes. So I'm going to make sure none of my tracks are armed. I'm going to make sure automation is armed, and I'll just hit the record button. Notice it adds a lot of little dots when I record with the knob. That's because every time I change speed or direction of the knob turning, it's adding another dot. So even if I feel like I'm turning the knob very gradually, I'm subtly changing the speed, and so that's where I'm getting these dots. The third way to add automation is to connect an external device so you have a real physical knob that you can turn. To do that, I'm going to first make sure my device is connected and working. Then I'm going to click the MIDI map button here and click the parameter that I want to assign to the knob. And then I just have to wiggle the knob and I can see that it's assigned. So if I were to wiggle a different knob, you can see the number of the knob changes. Then I can turn off MIDI map mode, and every time I turn that knob, now the knob on screen turns. At this point, I can automate just like I did when I was turning the knob on the screen. So that's automation in a nutshell. It's a really, really powerful tool. You can use it in just about every track, so get to work.